Hello, I'm Laura from Greenery Floral Design, and today I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful Christmas wreath to decorate your door this festive season. Let's firstly look at the hardware you'll need. There's a wire wreath frame and twine, and you can buy these very easily online or from your local retail florist. You'll also need some sharp garden cutters or floristry scissors. Your wreath base will be made from moss packed onto the frame, and then you'll want lots of seasonal foliage. Again, you can source this from your local florists. They're likely to be selling branches of pine and bunches of eucalyptus at this time of year, or you can ask to order something more specific. If you're lucky enough to have a garden or access to somewhere to do a little foraging, you may well be able to use some homegrown evergreens. You might find ivy, holly, yew and conifer that you could cut. Also, wherever you are, it's worth finding out from local flower growers whether they sell winter greenery by the bucket. Of course, it's not British flower season at the moment, but it's worth trying your local grower to see if they offer winter foliage. So, how do we make our wreath? Start by attaching your twine to your wreath frame. Just tie it on, leaving the reel attached. Then, taking a handful of moss at a time, push it between the two rings and wind the twine around. You'll want it to be quite dense and firmly packed. I tend to make my moss base quite full and chunky to make sure the end result is really abundant and luxurious looking. Work your way round until you get back to where you started, and then wind the twine round a couple of times and tie it, but don't cut it yet. Just as a side note, at the end of the season, don't throw this away. Remove the foliage, compost it, and strip the wreath back to this stage. You'll be able to use this base again for spring or autumn wreaths. Just soak it in a bucket of water before you remake to rehydrate the moss. And now we carry on where we left off with our moss base and twine. Cut lengths of your greens, say 15 centimetres or so, and make little mixed bunches of different varieties. Hold this against the moss base and wind the twine over the cut end of the foliage sprigs. Pull them tight to secure them. Now take another little mixed bunch, lay it slightly overlapping the previous one in the same direction, and again wrap the twine around. Carry on all the way around, creating as much coverage as possible, but don't worry if there are gaps, we can push more sprigs in later. Now, I could very happily leave the wreath like this. The gorgeous textured green foliage is beautiful. However, if you'd like to add any pops of colour, you can add these with more gorgeous natural bits and bobs. To hang your wreath, look at the back and find the wire frame. You might need to dig around in the moss a little. Double up a length of twine for extra support and push it between the moss and frame to make a loop. Depending on whether your door has a knocker or a doorknob, you might simply hang it, adjusting the height as needed, or tie it on. If you hang this outside on your front door, you won't need to do much to it. The low temperatures in December plus the moisture in the air should keep it nice and fresh. If the foliage is starting to look a little crispy, just spritz it with water. And that's your finished wreath.